Mi ha'isha chacham v'yaven esos asher diber pi Hashem elav yagido. Who is the chacham, who is the wise man that can understand, and the one that hears the word of God should explain it? Amav daretz, on what was the land destroyed? This isn't just a poetic introduction that Yirmiyahu is using to make a point. Chazal explained that there was confusion and a lack of clarity. The Chacham looked around. What's going on? How is the land so destroyed? They couldn't explain it. Asher Diber Pi Hashem, the one who is in touch with the Dvar Hashem, the Navi, couldn't understand either. Until Kadosh Baruch Hu explained. Not Shapirshu Kadosh Baruch Hu Ba'atzmo. This is, of course, a pasuk in Yirmiyahu, and I'm reading also from a Gemara in Bava Metzia. And how to explain? Hashem explain it back to the pasuk. V'yom Hashem ala azam es Torasi asher nasati l'fneim, that they forsaken, they left the Torah that I gave to them. I've spoken a lot in and out of the yeshiva actually about this pasuk this summer. Of course, Chazal famously explained it. How did they azvam es aretz? How did they azvam es Torah? In what way had Klal Yisrael forsaken the Torah? What does it mean? Shlo birchu b'Torah tchila. They didn't make blessings on the Torah. Less famous, but so important, was the understanding, which we shared a few times, of the Shevet Musar, that they left the Torah because they weren't machshiv. They didn't appreciate the importance of their relatively small chelik in Torah. Their portion, chelik is portion. And I say relatively because that was the whole point. Because when it comes to a portion in Torah, it's not about relativity. It's not about me and the Gadol Ador. It's not about me or you and anybody else. It's that every person has an enormous chelik in Torah. Be it Chumash, Mishnah, or Gemara. And not only that, as we explained, every Yid has an enormous portion in Torah. Every day, every Yid, every day has an enormous portion in Torah. Enormous. But today, I want to speak a little bit of an introduction to our main topic about this idea more generally. Azmas Torasi. And the end of a glorious 3 months in yeshiva, where so many advanced and beginning Talmidim, you stay beginning in Shapell for like a week, and you become advanced already, have done such great things in these hallowed walls. And that this pasuk highlights for us the cause of the Chorban, the cause of destruction, was leaving the Torah, that each of us in his own way is implored to think about it. And it's a Pashib Shot. Without Chazal, without the Shevet Musar. How do I take my Torah learning to the next level? We want to learn Tanakh. People tell me we don't have Tanakh in Yeshiva. We have Yeshua, we have Tanakh. We have Yirmiyahu. Here it is. Here's Tanakh. Yeshua says the destruction was because we left the Torah. That's it. So what can we do? How can I take my Torah learning, those leaving yeshiva, those who are staying in yeshiva, how can I take my Torah learning to the next level, at this next stage of my life, whether it's in yeshiva, whether it's out of yeshiva? And it doesn't have to be a dramatic answer. I'll never waste time again. I'll learn all of Shas by Elul, Yerushalmi, and Kabbalah by Pesach, Tikkunei Zohar, by next Tisha B'Av, then I'm going to fix that everything up. Kabbalah Masis over the next 3 weeks. How can I improve in some way in my Torah study? Question all of us have to ask ourselves. Maybe it's coming more on time to whatever learning seder I have. Maybe it's cutting down on breaks. Maybe it's learning for longer periods without interruptions. Maybe it's not bringing my phone into the base medrash. Maybe it's davening for success in my learning. Do we remember to do that? To realize there's someone who gives us chachma, no saying HaTorah. Maybe it's saying Birchas HaTorah slowly and with more feeling. Maybe it's squeezing 5 extra minutes into my day. Or maybe it's becoming dedicating to teaching someone else, which is also chelik of Torah. There's so many ways that we can be not ozev HaTorah. But now's the point. Now's the time to fix that terrible problem. That was an introduction. I want to speak about the main point of the Shmuze. I want to share an extremely central idea to what this whole period about is in the Jewish calendar. It's really a wondrous thing, the Jewish calendar, when you think about it in a whole way. You have Elul and Tishrei and Sukkot. the Rabbanans and the Chagim. How does the 3 weeks fit into the 52 years? Well, what's its purpose? There's an amazing idea that I first in depth, I'd read it before, I'd seen it before, but I first heard in depth actually just a few weeks ago, here, from our dear friend Rafi Wolf. If he's listening out there, shalom. At the Super S Shabbos. And it's worth coming to the Super S Shabbos to hear this idea. From the Sefer Ov Yisrael, the Abder Rav. This Ov Yisrael asked, why most years do we read Parshas Pinchas, which is all about the Yom Tovim, tens of psukim over the 3 weeks? And that happened this very year. 3 weeks ago, we had Shivasar B'Tammuz on Thursday, Super Es Shabbos, Parshas Pinchas, following weeks. This is one of the many years. So I'm going to read to you what the Ov Yisrael says. De'elu achaf yom, chaf alef yom. These 21 days, 3 weeks, 21 days. Shebein Yitzayin B'Tammuz L'Tes B'Av. Heim Mikorim V'Sharshim. They are source and roots. L'chol ha'moados shel hashana. These are the source. These days are the source days of the Moadim. Incredible. 21. And the Moadim we have is also 21. Shem Gam Ken Chaf Alef Yom. Hainu. Shabbos, Rosh Chodesh, is 2. Shivas Yemei Pesach, 9. Yom Chag HaShavuos is 10. Shnei Yom Shel Rosh Hashanah, interesting count, 12. Yom HaKippurim, 13. Shmonos Yemei Chag, 7 days of Sukkot, Shmini Atzeres, 21. 21 connected 21. The Simanach, beautiful Simon. Ach Tov L'Yisrael. Ach is 21. Tov L'Yisrael, Yom Tovim. Ach Tov L'Yisrael. Ve'elu chach yomim yom, ve'elu. Hachaf alef yom shebein ha-metzarim, heim mekorim, v'shrashim lehem. These days, this time, is the spiritual roots and the source of the Yom Tovim. So there's an integral relationship between what's happening in Parshas Pinchas and the 3 weeks. Hence, we read often, as this year, Parshas Pinchas within the 3 weeks. This at first sounds so strange. Yom Tov. These days, Shivasar B'Tammuz, Tisha B'Av. Today, beards, no music. Seem to have nothing to do with Yom Tovim. If anything, they're the polar opposite. Fasting versus feasting. Sadness versus simcha. Dread versus ecstasy. Destruction of the Beis HaMikdash versus focusing on the korbanos and the sacrifices that were born in the Beis HaMikdash, brought in the Beis HaMikdash. What is the Heilige Abder Rav saying? Now, it's clear from his words, I think it's clear in the understanding, but we're not bringing the whole thing, that the basic understanding of this concept for sure relates to these days in a totally different way than we're experiencing them today. It must be that these days, in essence, are happy, very, very lofty days, which got perverted to be something else altogether. In a similar ways that the days of Sfiras HaOmer are really a Chol HaMoed, the Rashiva mentioned, famous Ramban, we have Pesach, we have Shavuos, and the period of time is a one long Chol HaMoed. Just like Chol HaMoed is partially Moed. Chol HaMoed. We're supposed to really dress nice in Chol HaMoed. But because of the deaths of the Talmidim of Rabbi Kiva, they took on a mourning aspect. And many of us relate to the Sfira period, certainly until Lag BaOmer, as being a downtime. Also no music, etc. So that's what happened here also. And for sure that's a true shot, and that's definitely what the Ov Yisrael is saying, Bikar. Just to give you an example, it says about Shivasar B'Tammuz, Chag Hashem Achar. Aaron says Chag Hashem Achar. When he was trying to push up Klai Yisrael, there's going to be a Chag for Kadosh Baruch Hu tomorrow. That wasn't just Aaron trying to distract them from doing the eagle, the golden calf. Is revealing the basic essence of the day. Shivasar B'Tammuz is Chag Hashem Achar. It's a day, and it will be. But I want to explain these words as concept of the Ov Yisrael in a completely different way. The way we experience the 3 weeks, the 9 days, and especially Tisha B'Av today is the root of all of our highest days. Today. Not just in their high essence, but in terms of what they're really doing post-Chorban. And if we don't dig in and focus on this period correctly, we can't really experience Yom Tovim and Tishrei correctly. I'll just connect between these days and the 23 days of Tishrei, specifically. So let's go back to that basic question. What is this whole period's purpose? Aren't we supposed to be, we all see videos and we hear it all the time. I say it, positive psychology. We're supposed to be positive, believing in the future. Why focus on a broken past? So I want to read the words of the great Rabbi Yaakov Weinberg. Something incredible. Almost every year I try to read it, share a little bit with the yeshiva. I've never seen anything speak it like he spoke, exactly. And I wish you could read each and every word. We can't. You can find it online. Rabbi Yaakov Weinberg was the Rosh Yeshiva of Bnei Yisrael for many, many decades. Incredible Gaon. He was the brother of Noach, older brother, the Rebbe of Noach Weinberg. The period of the, but please listen carefully to the words of a very, very big man. The period of the 3 weeks, the period of the 3 weeks determines the who we are and how we live all the time. This is the recognition and the statement that we make when we fast on Shavuos B'Tammuz and keep the halachas of the 3 weeks and of Tisha B'Av. We are making an enormous statement that we are totally different. We're making a statement today. That the loss of the Beis HaMikdash makes us poor and suffering today. Not because of what our ancestors suffered, but because of what we are suffering. We are broken. We are not whole. We are not complete. Our lives are shattered. Our lives are not what they ought to be because of what happened 2,000 years ago. It is a statement that not having a Beis HaMikdash renders us, not them, not the Holocaust, not the Pale Settlement, not the Inquisition, us, a broken people, renders us unable to live a normal life. It means that we have been thrown to a state of disease and illness where we cannot think correctly or feel correctly or live correctly, where we are in a state of darkness, unable to reach out and bring the full light, where we are unable to relate to our Creator as often as we should, to live healthy, full lives. We make ourselves aware during this period that we are living as disabled people. This is the most important thing of all. Here's the main point. A blind man, God forbid, reaches the point where his blindness is so accepted that he is not aware of a sense of loss. One who has lost his legs can adjust so that he is not aware of a sense of loss. He is not aware that he does not live a normal, full life, that he's handicapped. And there are whole stages of experience and existence that are closed to him. He starts thinking that this is life. And he doesn't know that the inability to see colors, the inability to see the magnificence of God's creation is a lack and a loss. He accepts the norm, and that is a great tragedy because he is misamtein. He makes small God's creation. If we come to feel that as a people without a Beis HaMikdash or without korbanos we are living a full life, think of the effect that this has on our understanding of what existence is all about, of what our relationship with our Creator is all about. Somehow or other, it seems as though we live is right now. It doesn't make sense that we even go and bring animals and slaughter them in the Beis HaMikdash and put them on a mizbeach and burn up the meat. Listen to the Ivas HaMoach, the twistedness of the mind, heart, and soul that's involved. When a nation can begin to feel Rachmana litzlan, God save us, maybe the korbanos aren't really that necessary at all. What's lacking? The loss of a sense of commitment to Hashem Yisbarach, the loss of a sense of avoda, which can only be completely filled by bringing that korban. The loss of the sense of what is to really be able to physically reach out and show God that we give ourselves to you with totality and completeness. The korban is me. I'm giving myself to you. When do we have that? When do we touch that? We daven? Learn? It's nice to learn. All of me is on the mizbeach. It's me. This animal is me. Smicha, it's me. We're ready, God, to give ourselves, our bodies, our blood, and all of us for your sake. To recognize the loss of that Beis HaMikdash is really something significant. Listen to this, that I suffer now every minute of my life from that loss. To do that, we have to keep our sanity as Jews. To keep an equilibrium of what it is to be an Oved Hashem, of what it is to know our God, and to relate to Him. This time has to make us aware again to keep us from accepting the trap that this is normal. We're incomplete, lacking basic necessities, the tremendous loss of Kedusha, of holiness. The awareness of the Rebbeinu Shalom as a relationship to mankind is responsible for all the horror that's taken place. It could never, what we've seen in history and we see unfolding, could never have happened if the Beis HaMikdash and Korbanos were there. And the people of the world would come and see it. None of the horrors that the generations since have gone through could have taken place the same way. If there was an Inquisition and Geras Sfard and Chach V'Tat and a Hitler, all these are because we don't have a Beis HaMikdash. It goes beyond that. And again, I'm skipping a lot here. Not only do we accept a world without a Beis HaMikdash, a world without the Korbanos, a world without all the mitzvahs of tahara, of being tahar, clean, spiritually clean, as being tolerable, but worse, we accept a world in which Am Yisrael is in gullus, as a natural, tolerable world. There's gullus. Okay. To sum it up, we feel in a world of gullus that if there were no gullus, we're comfortable in America, we're comfortable in England, a little less than when he wrote it. But still, many people still live in America, and England, and everywhere. It doesn't feel as we're in the... He's going to get to Israel, don't worry. It doesn't feel as though we're in the diaspora at all. We live among civilized people. We live among people who are good, who see justice and right. And if they murder and slaughter occasionally, well, basically they're good. I'm just quoting from him. They kill millions of children, unborn children a year. We don't believe in abortion, or both sides, but basically they're good. They start talking about the quality of life as a preparation for killing another dozen million of elderly, sick, and homeless a year. It's the preparation. When you start talking about the quality of life, you know for sure there's only a question of how long before they start killing people off. You know that Nazi Germany, there was euthanasia, there was a program of euthanasia. Hitler killed 50,000 people. Otherwise, you don't start talking about the quality of life. The quality of life means that as soon as a person can enjoy the way I do, they're better off dead. And when a person is better off dead, you have an awful lot of kind-hearted people who are prepared to help him get that way. That's a fact, but they're kind-hearted. Basically, are the seekers of justice and civilization. We can talk to them. We can relate their language. We are comfortable. It's normal. We come to accept life among the non-Jews. I just want to point out he was a deeply learned person. He knew Aristotle. Rabbi Yaakov Weinberg had a shir in Aristotle with Hagaz from the Rambam. He used to give. It's normal, and we come to accept life among the non-Jews with their false values and their twisted emotions and their completely vicious sense of justice as being normal. We accept it and we live with it, and it goes on and on. And you can't come to Eretz Yisrael to escape it. Because the Goyim's values, the non-Jews' values, and their principles and their pressures in the streets of Yerushalayim. And Yerushalayim is a Yerushalayim that can't live like Yerushalayim because we're in Gullus. And a Shivasar B'Tammuz is needed to help remind us, don't get lost. Don't get lost. To remind us. This isn't a Jew. This isn't life. This is degradation. This is tragedy. It's falsehood. Viciousness. It's not the way to live. Not for us, not for them. They're not reading their Tikkun. Even here in Yerushalayim, the Gullus squeezes us. Their Gullus oppresses us. Their Gullus presses us. Taking their ways of living and doing and being. Under the best of circumstances, it can only be the most beloved of impossible governments. It can never be more what we have today. Can there be a direction, please listen carefully here, can there be a direction to give to Am Yisrael that is not built on its relationship with Hashem Yisbarach? We need to recognize the terrible gullus that is, the incredible loss, the impossible situation for Klal Yisrael, the tension between brother and sister that's going on. By a government that doesn't know Torah and doesn't appreciate the importance of being under the guidance and the rulership of those that know Torah. This is gullus. So Shivas B'Tammuz makes us aware, to remind us, to shake us out of the complacency that can drown us, that there's tragedy here. Do you hear how, and we'll finish with this, do you hear how deep it goes? Without Shivas B'Tammuz and the 3 weeks in a Tisha B'Av, we cannot remain Jews. It's the hook on which our whole existence rests. It's the awareness that the season gives us that we cannot really live without Mashiach, that we need Him, that we must have Him, and therefore await Him. Without the halacha says we cannot be Jews. This preserves the whole body of Jewry. Klal Yisrael exists because of this season, because of this period. It gave existence to Klal Yisrael. We have to recognize the full significance of this period that we're going into, and the deeper we understand, the more vitality, the more viability we give to the Am Yisrael. It is with that our Chachamim, in their incredible wisdom, by creating this period, made possible the continued existence of Am Yisrael. Those are his epic historic words. All year round, we have to be positive, building, going forward for sure. But we need these 3 weeks for all the reasons he said. I shared on my status yesterday, it's still there. I find it so inappropriate to find serious Orthodox Yidden in this yeshiva are making and sharing jokes and joke clips on their statuses and the like. Everybody knows I like a good line. I have to control myself during the 9 days. And I will very occasionally share one on a status, but during the 9 days, is that where we're at? It's so not serious. It means so little. It's just the time for another joke, and let's use the topics of the 9 days as a joke. So I made a video about the movies on Tisha B'Av. It shows that we're not using this period. It's time to focus. It's time to take seriously that what our Chachamim in their incredible wisdom bequeathed to us. There's a line said about talking in shul. If you talk in shul, where are you going to daven? We could say about this time, if we don't born the Beis HaMikdash now, when are we going to born it? A few days left. I think we can put together what Rabbi Yaakov Weinberg said together with the Ohav Yisrael. If we can't really be Jews without this time, and you have to think about what he said in the quiet of your own souls and time. You only get across so much in the talk. I would think about it. But if we can't really appreciate what it is to be Jews, we can't really appreciate Yom Tov either. Every day in our world today is great. What makes Yom Tov any greater today? You can get fresher food during the week. You can get live entertainment, kosher cruises, huge houses, deluxe vacations. So what's the big deal, Yom Tov? It's nice. 3 days, God forbid. Seemingly, it could even be a downer. No phone, no traveling, no 24/6 entertainment. Yom Tov. No. When you feel Golus, then Yom Tov and Shabbos, a time above, is so refreshing, so life-giving, so otherworldly, so amazing. You dig into and appreciate and can't wait for it. And Korbanos are such a Korbanos are such a focus on Yom Tov. We read about them, we speak about them, we say shiurim about them. We're supposed to long for them. And long for the Beis HaMikdash that's lacking. That's what Yom Tov is all about. That's what I love about the song V'hareinu, from the Musa prayer. V'hareinu, V'hareinu, B'vinyano. Show us Hashem. The building of the Beis HaMikdash, that's what it means. There's a longing in that song. The words for sure. But whoever the songwriter was, hit it right. You got it. And it properly represents what the Musaf is all about. Korbanos. Bring the Kohanim back to their avodah. That Korbanah. Those Korbanos. The Leviim to their song. And to Klal Yisrael back to their homes. On Chol Moed, hundreds of Yidden stand and sing in the Arab quarter right next to the doors of Har HaBayis. You can see the videos. That you put on your status. Singing that song with longing, desire. But without this time, okay. So really have no shaykhs to Yom Tov. We have no shaykhs to anything. The Ohav Yisrael also says, the Tammuz and Av are the eyes. Ki Tammuz v'Av hem b'chinas einayim. They're the eyes of the year. V'hem ke'es b'chinas choshech v'afela. Right now, they're eyes that are downcast and dark. Through this perspective of these times, we know how to look at ourselves. And Yom Tov becomes something else. And our whole existence in the right way. Can't wait for Yom Tov. Because I experienced it 3 weeks. And I remember what Gullus is. And I remember what's lacking. And now I can appreciate what I'm asking for in Yom Tov. And I can appreciate taking a breath out of fresh air away from this wicked existence which I'm subjected to. And these terrible ideas of the non-Jews which have penetrated my heart and soul and have subjected me to stupidity and insanity. And Rabbi Yaakov Weinberg didn't even know about some of the insanities of today, turning up left is right and right is left, and upside down, and a strange marriage between this anti-Semite and that anti-Semite. He hadn't seen it. He saw through other things, as we mentioned. But there's another idea. This will close. He brings the pasuk to Ohev Yisrael in Tehillim. Galei nai v'abitin eflos mitarasecha. Unveil my eyes, saying Tehillim Kuf Yutes, which is a good segula for Abbas Torah. Unveil my eyes, that I may see wonders from your Torah. Galei nai v'abitin eflos mitarasecha. What's Torah? What is Torah? Torah is a place above everything. The Simcha Buna Peshischa says that the Chorban brought everything to a lower state. Everything. The taste of food, the taste of relations, obviously Korbanos, religious experience, tefillah. But about the Torah we say in Slichas, Ein Shiur Rak Torah Zos, the only thing left over is Torah. Somehow the Chorban didn't touch Torah. It didn't touch Limud Torah. Torah stays above, unadulterated, untainted by all the wrecking and destruction. How is it that so much true joy lives in the Torah? You keep going, it gets more pleasurable and more pleasurable, more pleasurable, as we've spoken about at different times. Why can't we learn Torah Tisha B'Av? It's a nice shot, because it's binyan. We know that the Oreganas, the beautiful primordial light, was hidden away. It wasn't for this world. Where did Kadosh Baruch Hu put it? He put it in the Torah. That's what Hanukkah is all about, the 36 candles of Hanukkah, the 36 hours. Hanukkah's Miyuchad K'neged Torah. So Limud Torah can transport a person to a totally different place, a place without chorban, without destruction, of joy and great light. Imagine for a moment a poor Yidel sitting in the palest settlement, surrounded all day by anti-Semites, little food or enjoyment. But when he opens a Gemara, new life. Geschmack, or binyan. Whole day he's waiting for this experience. But Rabbi Yaakov Weinberg taught us that we're that Yid. It takes a lot more to see it. They lived in the Pale Sodom and in Siberia and Auschwitz, the Warsaw Ghetto. But we're also there. Now imagine, go back to that Yiddo back in dark Russia, digs into this Gemara, how he digs in. I have such a chance to escape this wretched existence. He's going to put in everything he can. And through that attitude, see great things. What stops us from learning? The Torah is so sweet. We have bitterness in our mouths. It's all there. Why don't you see it? We learn it in Chatzi. You don't see things. But that Yiddo was learning with all of his strength. Gali nai v'abitin felos mitarasecha. Through the inayim of Tammuz and Av. And if we can appreciate that and understand this, we'll put so much extra effort into our learning Limud Torah. We'll also see great things. Friends, these are days of building an opportunity. Let's make the most out of them. Tzlacha.